My name is Rachel Chen. I'm 29 years old, and for 20 years, I was invisible in my family while my cousin Sophie was their golden princess. Christmas 2019, Sophie got a $3,000 Cartier bracelet while I received a $25 Target gift card. My Stanford graduation barely got mentioned, but Sophie's community college certificate had 200 guests at the Four Seasons. The final straw came when Sophie demanded I attend her wedding as maid of honor and publicly praise her perfect life in front of 400 guests. What they didn't know was that the billionaire keynote speaker they desperately wanted to impress was actually flying me first class to New York to present me with an award that same exact day. When I refused to attend the wedding, they disowned me. 2 weeks later, every single one of them showed up at my door in tears to apologize. I'm curious where you're watching from. Hit subscribe and drop your city in the comments below. My family owns Chen Properties in San Francisco's Pacific Heights. Dad's a surgeon, Mom runs boutiques in Union Square. We lived in a 7-bedroom mansion in Hillsborough. Sophie's parents, Uncle James and Aunt Catherine, were family royalty. He's a tech executive. She's an influencer with 800,000 followers. Growing up, Sophie's 16th birthday cost $45,000 at the St. Regis while mine was dinner at P.F. Chang's. When Sophie crashed her BMW at 17, they bought her a new Mercedes. When I needed $500 for SAT prep, they told me to get a job. I earned a full scholarship to Stanford. Nobody attended my ceremonies. Sophie's blog launch had the whole family flying to Los Angeles. At every dinner, they introduced Sophie as our rising star, and me as Rachel's here too. I was invisible unless they needed free labor for Sophie's events. 6 weeks before her wedding, Sophie called while I was in my Oakland office finalizing a major contract. "Rachel, you're my maid of honor. September 12th at the Ritz-Carlton. You'll give a speech about how I've always inspired you." My heart sank. September 12th was the date I'd been preparing for all year. "Sophie, I can't attend. I have a commitment that day." She laughed. "What could you possibly have that's more important than family? Cancel it. Uncle James got Dr. Miranda Foster to attend my wedding, the Forbes billionaire tech investor. This is the biggest day of our family's history." What Sophie didn't know was that Dr. Miranda Foster wasn't attending her wedding. Miranda was flying me to New York that same day to present me with the Tech Innovator Award at the Global Women's Summit for building invisible systems, my AI software company with 200 employees generating $47 million in annual revenue. Miranda had invested $5 million in my company and was announcing our new $80 million partnership. The irony was almost funny. I'd been working with Dr. Miranda Foster for 3 years, but we'd only met virtually because I traveled constantly opening offices in Singapore, London, and Toronto. September 12th was our first in-person meeting where she'd present my award in front of 5,000 industry leaders, specifically celebrating that I'd built everything without family money. My speech was titled, "Success from Invisibility." Meanwhile, Sophie kept texting, "You will be there. This is my day." Mom called next. "Rachel, you're attending that wedding. Dr. Foster will be there and we need to show we're a united family." I said clearly, "I will not be attending. I have a commitment I made a year ago." Mom screamed, "You're choosing some appointment over family? You're dead to us." Uncle James texted, "Don't bother coming to any family event again. You're cut off." Aunt Catherine posted on Facebook that I was a selfish disappointment who'd abandoned the family. I chose my real life. September 12th arrived. I stood on stage at the Javits Center in Manhattan accepting my award from Dr. Miranda Foster, while 5,000 people applauded. Miranda's introduction praised how I'd built a tech empire from my dorm room with zero family support, rejected by venture capitalists 47 times before she believed in me. While I was on that stage, Dr. Miranda Foster never showed up to Sophie's wedding in San Francisco because she was in New York with me. Sophie's entire wedding had centered around impressing Miranda. When she didn't arrive, chaos erupted. The family spent the reception making excuses to 400 guests about their missing billionaire. Uncle James kept texting Miranda's assistant, Nobody celebrated Sophie. They whispered about the absent VIP the family had bragged about for months. That evening, I was having dinner with Miranda at Per Se celebrating our $80 million partnership when she checked her phone and laughed. "Rachel, I have 17 missed calls from James Chen and 10 from Catherine Chen. Do you know them?" My stomach dropped. "They're my uncle and aunt." Her eyes widened. "You're related to the family harassing my office? They claimed I'd confirmed attendance at a wedding. My assistant told them I'd be in New York, but they kept insisting." She showed me desperate texts from my family. Then she scrolled social media and froze. "Rachel, your family is posting about you." Aunt Catherine's post from 3 hours earlier read, "Our niece Rachel chose some fake meeting over family." While Sophie celebrated, Rachel sat alone pretending to be important. Some people never amount to anything. Miranda's face went from shock to fury. "They called you a failure while you were accepting an award from me?" The next morning, Dr. Miranda Foster posted our photo on LinkedIn to her 4 million followers. "Honored to present the Tech Innovator Award to Rachel Chen, founder of Invisible Systems, 47 million in revenue, built without family money." While her family claimed she'd never amount to anything, she was building an empire. Success doesn't need permission. The post went viral, 800,000 likes in 8 hours. Forbes published, "The Invisible Heiress: How Rachel Chen Built a Tech Empire While Her Family Called Her a Failure." The article detailed how I worked as a night janitor at Stanford to fund my startup while my family spent $200,000 on Sophie's influencer career, how they demanded I skip my award ceremony for a wedding, then publicly trashed me. It included screenshots of Aunt Catherine calling me a failure next to photos of me accepting my award. Within 48 hours, my family's behavior became a viral story about toxic favoritism. 2 weeks later, my doorbell rang at 9 a.m. I opened it to find Mom, Dad, Uncle James, Aunt Catherine, and Sophie on my doorstep, all crying. Mom spoke first, voice shaking. "Rachel, we are so deeply sorry. We were wrong about everything." Dad's eyes were red. "I watched your award ceremony on YouTube. I've never once asked about your work or dreams. I'm ashamed." Uncle James could barely speak. "I called you a failure while you were building something extraordinary. I'm sorry." Aunt Catherine sobbed. "I posted horrible things about you. I was jealous and I destroyed our reputation because I couldn't see past Sophie." Sophie stepped forward. "Rachel, I treated you like my servant for 20 years. I dismissed every achievement. When you had the most important day of your career, I demanded you abandon it for my wedding. I'm so deeply sorry." Mom showed me her Facebook post with childhood photos of me. "I owe Rachel a public apology. For 29 years, I favored Sophie over her. I gave Rachel gift cards while giving Sophie luxury cars. When Rachel built a $47 million company, I didn't even know because I never asked. I was blind and wrong. Rachel, I love you and I'm profoundly sorry." The post had 12,000 reactions. Dad had written a 7-page letter asking for a chance to rebuild. Uncle James donated $100,000 to my nonprofit. Aunt Catherine deleted her influencer accounts. Sophie handed me a check for $50,000. "This doesn't come close to what you spent on me, but it's a start. I'm in therapy now." Their reputation was destroyed. Uncle James lost board positions. Aunt Catherine lost brand deals. Chen Properties lost major clients. They'd faced consequences from their own cruelty becoming public. I looked at all 5 of them, genuinely remorseful. "I need time. I need you to continue therapy for at least a year. I need boundaries. No demands. No expectations. And understand that forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting." They agreed to everything. 6 months later, we're rebuilding slowly. Mom and I have coffee monthly. Dad visited my office and cried seeing what I'd built. Sophie volunteers at my nonprofit quietly. No cameras. To everyone who's been the invisible child, your worth was never determined by their blindness. Build your empire in the shadows. I was invisible for 20 years but never stopped believing in myself. Work when they doubt you. Build when they dismiss you. Succeed when they claim you'll fail. When success becomes undeniable, apologies will come. But by then, you won't need them. You'll know your worth with or without their validation. Thank you for watching.